My name is Fernando Alvarez Borges. I'm a Senior Research Fellow at the mh X-ray Imaging Center of the University of Southampton. Our facility focuses on conducting X-ray imaging of objects. We're one of the largest facilities in the UK, and we're known for being able to scan objects that are very big and very dense, which is generally not possible at other laboratories. We were approached by academics from Durham University with a query about the possibility of scanning essentially a block of clay removed from the ground that contains archaeological objects, and initially it seemed like a very big challenge because the block was over 200 kilos in weight. We had to come about with a method to be able to hold it upright, and for that we designed a special box. And we also had to use a crane that our machine has to be able to lift that kind of object. To be able to look inside the object, we had to use the highest energy possible and the highest power possible that our machines could do, so that we could get X-rays through the object and produce the images that we needed to look inside the object. Through the CT scan data that we provided, they could plan which bits to extract first, how to do it in the best way to increase the chances of removing the object without damaging it or altering it. The cauldron was very interesting because it was smashed, it was compressed, it no longer had its original shape, and it was also somewhat degraded. So we could sort of see the outline of what was a cauldron, but didn't have the color of a cauldron or the shape of a cauldron.